Morning, everyone. Did you sleep? Well, I kind of did, but I've been thinking too. And so here we are again. So, what are the thoughts on the people at the moment? It's all about the Billie Piper 16th Doctor or not issue. So, I'm going to get into that. So, Billie Piper has apparently regenerated into Doctor Who. The 16th Doctor Who, after Ncuti Gatwa finally broke his nail as my Who Pet video foretold in their regeneration video, and he finally extinguished his diva doctor and went to touch grass. That field is full of people nowadays, Ncuti, standing room only. But let's get to it. Is Billie Piper the 16th Doctor? Is this a stunt? Is this a bit of trickery of the light? A bit of desperation by RTD and the BBC concerned that they cannot fade to black while the show goes on a hiatus? I mean, it was Jamie McCrimmon on the moon base who said, "Beware the phantom piper." It's not quite a phantom pregnancy, but is this a phantom regeneration? Is there more that meets the eye? I, for one, am afraid of the big bad wolf. Let's delve a little bit further, shall we? Right, the Big Bad Wolf story itself, which was utilised in the eponymous episode Bad Wolf in 2005, wasn't it? It was a warning, it was a message across time and space. Could this be the first clue? I mean, after watching Wish World and Reality War, we can now confirm that RTD will do anything, cannon busting or not, breaking fourth walls, ceilings, the lot. Just as his doctors regenerate dramatically and explosively, his scripts now explode any common sense and logic ever applied to the Doctor Who universe. So why should we not expect anything to happen? Anything. So, Ncuti blew up the TARDIS again. This time he decided to send his regeneration fairy dust into the whole universe, like joy to the world. If it was meant to be dramatic, the drama for me was hoping we didn't see a regeneration and hoping we didn't see what we got next. This was too religious and strange to me. It's just very strange. It looked very like the moment in Lux, didn't it? When he was high up in the projector area. Remember when he was going through it again? It's almost like it was foretold. Anyway, no surprise that the company producing Doctor Who that names itself after her character in the show as the Bad Wolf would turn to her like some urgent mayday to resurrect their business, revive the media attention and fan interest after its lifeblood was hemorrhaging badly under the weight of soap opera nonsensical plots. I mean, Bad Wolf was a con trick, remember? The first RTD retrospective glue for holes in a script, an inability to land a dramatic narrative arc. You think about that. That first series, we were so excited. We were looking everywhere like kids, weren't we? But if you really think about that first season with Chris Eccleston, were you really satisfied with the kiss at the end and all the Daleks are now dust? After such a dramatic moment, were you satisfied that I looked into the TARDIS and all that stuff? If you really think, and I scattered in time a message, Bad Wolf. I mean, if you're going to scatter a message, make it a better message than that. So there's an awful lot of nonsense here. Anyway, no surprise, therefore, that RTD resorts to Bad Wolf again. Now, the press are reporting with a straight bat. It is what you see on the tin, they seem to be saying. Well, we have been here before. The Hoax regeneration scene in Stolen Earth, for example, where the nation thought they were witnessing the demise of Tennant's 10th Doctor. Remember that? And the press fell for it hook, line and sinker. Well, we did as well, let's be honest, that time. But we've learnt our lesson now. So, as I say to you, is there more to it? Have the press missed the obvious? Well, let's go straight away to the BBC report, because the BBC should know, shouldn't they? So the teller Ncuti's regenerated it into Billie Piper. So that sounds as though it's a slam dunk, doesn't it? In the series finale of Doctor Who. He left the role after playing the series for 2 minutes. Piper, who previously played the Doctor's assistant, said the opportunity to step back on that TARDIS one more time was just something I couldn't refuse. I tell you what, if you really look at what she's saying there, to step back on that TARDIS one more time, she doesn't use the word doctor. And I think this is blatant. Or wouldn't you? I mean, come on, if you were Billie Piper or anybody and you've been given the job of the doctor, wouldn't you say so? Wouldn't you actually be saying, since me and Chris played it, I really go for it. But no, she says she's very strict here. I'm going back on that TARDIS. And she also says one more time, so you almost wonder whether it's just all about a special. Anyway, the press release continues. Just how and why she is back remains to be seen. Oh, here we go. Just how and why will be made up later by RTD. Now he's grabbed her to do the stunt casting. He's now going to have to think about... And actually, maybe he doesn't have to think about it, because you know what he's like. He sometimes doesn't bother giving us an explanation. Anyway, the credits at the end of the programme said Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, and introducing Billie Piper. Yeah, we noticed that, and I'll look at it again in a minute. In a statement, though, Piper said she was delighted to be returning to the show, but that fans would have to wait and see what her character did next. Now, that could be you're the new Doctor and you're just saying, I wonder what adventures are in store for the new Doctor. But considering she hasn't confirmed she's the new Doctor, the BBC credits haven't confirmed she's a new Doctor, and the BBC haven't gone wild with announcements. You'd think they'd want some positive news, since they've not mentioned season 3 either. I mean, the BBC are stockpiling all this amazing news, aren't they? Anyway, let's continue. Let's be fair as well. I'm not digging at Billie Piper. I am not. She really did add to that value of 2005 and 2006. In many respects, my concern was, to be quite honest, that it was the companion arc that took over a little bit. But I can't knock her acting talent. I was one of those. Honey to the Bee, why have we got Billie Piper, a pop star in Doctor Who? I was one of those people. So I will be the first to say this is not a criticism of her in Doctor Who. Rose Tyler was a brilliant characterisation, and she really brought a lot to it. With Chris Eccleston and then with David Tennant. She's an award-winning actress. She's been in Scoop, Secret Diary of a Call Girl, and various things. I have no issue with Billie Piper at all. But I do have an issue with them resorting back to her and what it means for our programme. So let's look at, just to remind ourselves of the mystery of the credits. You see there, of course, Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, Jodie's the Doctor, and introducing Billie Piper. Now, at first you go, oh yeah, grammatically it could be just doing it like that, but really, they know what they're doing. They have not put the words Doctor next to Billie Piper. And of course, as I showed last night, David Tennant as Doctor Who, Matt Smith as the Doctor, Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. It's almost easier just to keep the same typing going and just put as the Doctor. But the BBC have deliberately erased that. It would have been easier. They didn't. Now, there has to be a mystery, an enigma, a reason why they are embracing this ambiguity. And is the ambiguity for ratings, for positive press stories, to try and get a spin going when the show's been hemorrhaging support, hemorrhaging interest, and is this a last desperate ploy, a bit like David Tennant and Catherine Tate in the specials? Yeah? So, yes, confirmed that was interesting. It's interesting what Billie Piper said, and we will move on. So conspiracy theorists abound now, of course, because there's a crack in the force and it's not saying it. William Hoos here says, if you re-watch the Regeneration, you can see the Doctor literally disappear and then Billie appears. So she's most definitely not the Doctor, or at least 16. I'm guessing the Ark will be found in 16, like they are now lost. Hopefully she's playing the moment instead. I I have to say, I mean, I need to look again at the regeneration, but my God, I know they showed the back of his head, but I thought we saw the usual face start to change, and obviously they overexposed all the the bleach, the effect of the regeneration vapors, but I'm not too sure about that one. Um, but I have to say, sorry about this. It's early morning. I, for one, was getting concerned that we were watching Secret Diary of a Call Girl in this scene. Or I worried that the 15th Doctor's sonic screwdriver was on high vibrate or something because we got a very visibly amused Billie Piper. Maybe this Doctor was very excited to arrive, as they say. Sadly, I thought it looked a bit like the Joker from Batman had arrived. By the way, if this is a regeneration and RTD wants it to be authentic, she broke the fourth wall. Hello, gleefully to the audience. Baiting the audience, talking to the audience. Do you know what? William Hartnell, Merry Christmas in the Feast of Stephen. And we get to this. Devil's Chords, looking at the camera when you're about to murder June Hudson, Jinx Monsoon. Really? And so, what we got is a mixture of a gurning Paul McGann when he was, appearing as the Doctor in the movie, or a very excited female character who possibly had a sonic on her at the point that she was apparently regenerating. I found it quite distracting, should I say. Maybe not the best look, because honestly, I thought, what is going on with her? Whoa. So there you go. Bit of mirth there. So what is going on? Baiting the audience again, laughing at the fans at what RTD thinks he can get away with now. So let's take a look. How and why it does a lot of work here, doesn't it? So, speaking of the surprise twist, RTD, obviously gleeful, thinking at last I've got away with this. Billie once changed the whole of television back in 2005, and now she's done it again. Well, hold on a minute, she's just appeared. Just hold your horses. It's an honour and a hoot to welcome her back to the TARDIS, but quite how and why and who is a story yet to be told. After 62 years, the Doctor's adventures are only just beginning. You hope. But you can see there, even he, with his mastery of stunt casting, with his desperate ploys to actually get us in the press. I mean, JNT would be going, really? Let's look at it again. But quite why, how, and who? Why are we deliberately not saying she's the Doctor when surely you're proud that you get your second female Doctor? I know you've had the Fugitive, but we don't know where the hell she stands. Wow. Why would the BBC not go for that? Being progressive and happy, clappy. There's something up here. There really has to be. You cannot, like we went mad when Millie Gibson, when she left from season 1, and we said, why isn't her agent allowed to speak? Why isn't anybody allowed to speak? Why aren't the BBC confirming what's going on? Because it can look really bad. If Billie Piper is the new Doctor Who, an iconic show that's been going 62 years, why is she the first ever actor who's not allowed to confirm, I am the Doctor? What, for a little kind of press trick? I doubt it. There is more to this. There has to be. And I think we've got the trick of Bad Wolf, the name Bad Wolf, the trick that she's been the moment, she's been a conscience before, she's actually been lots of plot devices before. There's so many tricks here that could go on. I was almost wondering why Yasmin Finney's character was called Rose. How many roses do we have here? I know it was Donna, but you know what I mean. What about this? Billie Piper apparently has just been given the Doctor Who role, but she says it's no secret how much I love the show. And I have always said I would love to return to the Whoniverse, as I have some of my best memories there. So to be given the opportunity to step back on the TARDIS, One more time was just something I couldn't refuse. But who, how, why, and when, you'll just have to wait and see. Now, they're throwing everything at us there. Is she not the Doctor? Are we not even in the right chronological sequence? When? Why? Well, I give up on the why. I sometimes wonder whether you'll ever tell us why with anything. I mean, why the plot last night? Why? And how? So, right, there's a lot set up there. I think it's doing its trick. It's to get us all talking. So, we got what we thought and what we were meant to think was a regeneration. But can I just say, this deliberate vagueness, this lack of formal announcement is odd. I am alarmed that after 20 years, the stranglehold of New Who and its cancerous growth continues. The show can't seem to get beyond its characters, its producers from that period. They did it with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, and it didn't quite land, did it? The law of diminishing returns. The law of making no sense. The law of jumping the shark. The law of trying to shock viewers too many times. To play with regeneration too much until it's like some Paul Daniels magic trick or David Copperfield or David Blaine Conn trick. Too many times. Too many last resorts and last-ditched attempts go on here. I just don't know how many times we can tolerate this and put up with this. And I really feel sorry for Billie Piper getting involved in this. I understand the desperation. RTD has run out of ideas. Billie Piper has served Doctor Who well. If they wanted to revive the 2005 vibe, I've got one big suggestion. Buy into this thread. RTD thinks, do you know what? We really need to get that 2005 vibe back to Doctor Who. Whoa. Okay then. My suggestion is this. Be the big man with the big ego and apparently the big heart to go with your big sense of self-importance. Go and get Chris Eccleston. Yeah. You want 2005 and all that success, that great formula. Well, there was one trick you could have done if you had the heart and you were the man. Go and get Chris Eccleston, not Billie Piper. Get the main man. Get him back. Do the right thing. But you didn't, did you? So it's obviously a con trick. It's obviously a hoax. It's obviously you're playing with us. That's what you're doing. I see you, RTD. I see you. She was great in 2005 and 6, though, like I said, the companion arc was dominating. Bad Wolf Bay, the drama of it, Doomsday, very emotional. She returned in Stolen Earth, was a bit distracting, and somehow not quite the Rose we knew from before, and comparisons I didn't think served her well. Then she was the moment, the conscience in Day of the Doctor, playing alongside John Hurt's War Doctor. A con trick because she wasn't Rose. She was in it, but she wasn't Rose. Bit like Tom Baker being the curator, but not quite the Fourth Doctor. So Doctor Who can use the image of Rose and the manifestation of Rose to deceive us all. Right, I'm parking that there. And here we go from Parting of the Ways. When Rose Tyler looked into the heart of the TARDIS, it fulfilled her wish to save the Doctor and infused her with godlike powers. She took the TARDIS to Satellite 5. Is this what we're seeing? Is this the TARDIS? The TARDIS must be getting sick of being blown up all the time. So basically, is she the TARDIS? Is she the moment? Or is she the bad wolf scattering again? Yeah? I suppose all for us to find out in the future. And tune in, please, says RTD. So, other thoughts that are going on. Tinted Who here. A show that once burned too bright Fans begged for the old days, and so they came back. But now it's frozen in time, recycling past glory, afraid to grow. Not dead, not alive. A rerun looped forever in the Twilight Zone. Fascinating quote. And Tinted Who, I get your sentiment. I really do think the new Who experiment is dead. It had its go. It needs a fresh take now. We can't keep recycling people. We can't keep recycling people from within that bubble. We need to look beyond the bubble now. We really do. It would be healthier for Doctor Who to do that. So you'll see also, it's not universally pleasing news. And like we said, we've got no issue with Billie Piper, and I hope she enjoys the headlines today. Nothing against her at all. Billie Piper, officially the next Doctor. There was an opportunity to cast someone that would bring the show back. This is the end of the show, in my opinion. And of course, Paul Clifton here. Clearly, they couldn't close the series with no new Doctor reveal. And so Billie Piper steps in merely to provide onward continuity till when they are able to announce the actor they want to be ongoing. And he will be a straight white male whether RTD likes it or not. It is fascinating, isn't it? Are we buying time again? They haven't got their ducks in a row. This is just a tactic to get us talking, as a filler. So what is RTD up to? Who knows? Almost who cares? The stunts are becoming tedious, the payoff never satisfactory, the logic cast into the cosmos like some unnecessary hazard waste. So Bad Wolf is back, in the guise of Billie Piper. Be afraid. Be very afraid of what the BBC, RTD and Bad Wolf are concocting next to keep their stranglehold on the series, refusing to let go. Their last roll of the dice, maybe? Of course, time will play out whether she is actually a phantom regeneration, but don't expect an explanation. Don't expect payoff. You've had this, you've had the stunt, you've had the headlines, now comes the hard graft. I really like Billie Piper. I just wish they had not thrown her into the series as it stands today. See you all later. Tune in at 1 PM today for the ratings. You're all great mates. Bye for now.